Thank you for joining me for lesson 80. It's hard to believe that we're 80 lessons in of Sefer HaMitzvos. Today we're learning negative mitzvah number 356. We've been learning about mitzvahs relating to divorce. It's been a popular topic. I don't know if you've looked in the comments at all. The divorce is not is obviously not a good thing. It's a tragic thing, and it's something that Hashem doesn't want us to treat lightly. And so this is understood to be the reason why negative mitzvah 356 is found in the Torah. This prohibition is the prohibition on remarrying a divorced wife who married someone else in the interim. So this comes from Deuteronomy 24:4, which says, "Her husband who sent her away may not marry her again." So it's forbidden to remarry a woman that one divorced if she had remarried and subsequently become single, and then he has the opportunity to marry her. If he does, then he has broken this commandment not to marry a divorced wife. So I'll read that in context. And so this is going to be 4 verses. The reason I want to read it in context is because we need to make sure we're all on the same page as far as what exactly we're talking about. And the page is obviously found in the Torah, Deuteronomy 24, starting in verse 1. And I'm just going to read down to verse 4. And it's going to be other things that we've discussed as well up to this point. Starting in verse 1 says, "When a man takes a wife and is intimate with her, and it happens that she does not find favor in his eyes because he discovers an unseemly matter, a matter of erva, a matter of immodesty, and he writes for her a bill of divorce and places it into her hand, and sends her away from his house, and she leaves his house and goes and marries another man. If the latter husband hates her, and he writes her a bill of divorce and places it into her hand and sends her away from his house, or if the latter husband who took her as a wife dies, her first husband, who had sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife, since she was defiled to him, for that is an abomination to the Lord, and you shall not bring sin to the land the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance." So this is a matter of morality, a matter of sin. And so how is it a matter of sin for a man to divorce his wife and then to remarry her? In fact, you're encouraged if the wife has left. Let's say she's disillusioned with how how married life is to her husband, and she requests a divorce. They divorce, and now she's off and realizes being married wasn't so bad. Then and maybe there's other reasons why they divorced, and maybe she made teshuva or whatever it was, and she comes back, and he takes her as his wife again. She wasn't with anybody in the meantime. Then that's totally permissible, and that is encouraged. That is good for them to get back together, to reconcile, and to remarry. If she leaves, takes another husband, and that new husband either divorces her or passes away, and she becomes single in either case. And she comes back to her first husband. She is not supposed to marry him according to this mitzvah, the commandment not to remarry. However, if he does remarry her, there is a punishment of lashes at the time of the temple, but their marriage is valid. They sinned that one when they got married. They sinned, but their marriage is valid. They are still now husband and wife again. Um, the uh, the the thing is, maybe I should stop there. Uh, this I think will be a longer conversation because we've got 3 days, I believe, to discuss this mitzvah. So I'll stop there. We've had gotten some good things to think about here, and we'll flesh it out a little bit more with God's help over the next couple classes. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day in every way.